Hey, Prof, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, so there is this trending thing on wearing scientific goggles. What is it about?
Oh, well, the wearing scientific goggles. That's funny. It's something that I started about 6 months ago. It started as a metaphor, and what inspired it is that I took up a new position at the University of Free State as head of research chain communication for innovation. So just before I took up that position, I kept on thinking to myself that I'm getting into a space where I will be expected to publish a lot, research and all that because it's a research chair. I will be measured on the basis of how many publications I put them and how many PhD students I produce and all that. I understood the role that I was taking. Then I began to think about what kind of research should I be pushing? Do I have to go into food security research? Do I have to do gender studies? Do I have to promote sustainable agriculture and all that? And all those things were like, okay, this is very interesting. But then part of me thought to myself to say, look, Hlami, you have been doing a lot of work in the agricultural sector. You are sitting with a lot of data. You are sitting with a lot of idea, which you never really had an opportunity to unearth and write something about it. And the moment I thought about that as an area where I could deep dive and do research, there were two outcomes. So when I was thinking about research about sustainability and all that, it felt okay, yeah. But when I thought about the possibility of doing research based on my work and generating ideas, the feeling that I had was different. Here, the feeling was like, oh, now I see the possibility. Oh, okay, I've been doing facilitation. Oh, now I can have a theory. I can theorize about it and put it out there. I become a knowledge producer. Oh, I have been doing systemic change. Now I can sit down and write about it and be an. The level of energy that I felt inside was so different. Then I concentrated more on these. And there was a time where I couldn't sleep for 2 full days. I couldn't sleep because I'm thinking, oh, okay, I've done over 600 workshops. Then I went back to some of the reports and then I started looking at patterns. Oh, this workshop, I never looked at it this way. So I started, having this pattern recognition. I'm recognizing different patterns. Oh, here I could get this, I could get that and whatnot. And I started generating, some concept notes. I couldn't sleep. Just the excitement of finally putting in onto paper the things that I had said, I will do when I retire.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
so what is the newness in this?
The newness is normally when you do research. Okay, so I come from practice, right? Then I'm also part of the academia. Then I thought, okay, people who are in practice, like me, they have been innovating, they're solving real life challenges. But unless you intentionally write about that, you'll never inform theories in academia. So academics, they do theories, there's models and all that. But there is a lot of learning that is happening in practice, which unless you look at it scientifically and bring new theories, you can never inform what is happening in academia. So the theories that happens in academia get recycled. You know, Even in cases where academics go and study practice, in most cases they study practice, but the practitioners themselves are not part of that story. They can be acknowledged, but they can never be part of the story as the owners of the story. So, so the wearing scientific goggles simple means you give practitioners scientific lens to begin to look at their work with a scientific eye. And my assumption is that when you do that, you unleash a dopamine effect, like I felt. Um, and once people realize that, oh, actually, I can write about my work in a scientific manner, And here, scientific manner does not mean that everything has to end in a peer-reviewed journal.
Mhm.
It's the rigor of how you tell the story, how you generate the evidence, how you mitigate against your biases, how you triangulate, how you use appreciative inquiry. There is a whole science around which support people who are doing research in their own work, your action research and all that and whatnot. And out of that, different knowledge products can come out. Those who want to pursue, use the data that they are sitting with to pursue into academic spaces and whatever, they can actually do that. Or, so this is that was my idea, right? Then I said, okay, it's an idea, let me test it. I started testing it with few people. I can tell you, I was so humbled about the uptake. And normally, when a person has an idea, it takes time to convince people until they adopt, that idea. But for this, it's instant. Instant is that I spoke to this person, they kind of see it instantly. I don't have to like convince them and whatnot and whatnot. And in no time, I had, this organization, UFAAS, who said, yes, you have to test this within our ongoing, project in 4 countries. They put in resources. That's how much they believed in this idea. They put in resources to test. We have 4 countries: Uganda, Costa Rica, Ecuador, Madagascar. The dopamine is crazy. The dopamine is crazy. In a project, if I were to take an example of Uganda, huh? In a project where under normal circumstances there will be one M&E person who's looking at the project and writing, I'm telling you, I have a WhatsApp group where there are 56 people
Mhm.
in one project. Each one of them has identified an area, a story within the project which they want to write. Not all of them want to write peer review papers. No, some of them is going to be a policy brief and all that. And that dopamine effect, that WhatsApp group keeps me busy,
Mhm.
literally, because every time, you know, and people are not paid to do that. It's more, internal and all that. So there had been a number of, cases where I tested it and people are really waiting, to do that. Yeah.
Okay, so why do you think the reception was very high and amazing?
The interesting thing, remember in my previous talk, I did, about facilitation, which, okay, so there are two ways. I'm developing theories currently.
Mhm.
One theory around facilitation, which is based on my lived experience. There I can tell you this works, this doesn't work. This one is I'm developing a theory based on an idea. So I have no idea yet what makes them behave in that way. I still have to get empirical evidence. So these are two different ways of starting a theory. The first one, you can start a theory based on the things that you have done.
Mhm.
This one works, or that you already have answers. You just need to get a theoretical language to articulate it. Here, I'm studying a theory from an idea. I just have an idea. It has never been tested anyway. I don't know what makes it work and all that. I still have to test it. So definitely I'll go back to Uganda, and all the people who said, yes, we want to be part of it, I still have to ask them, what is it that made you feel you want to be part of it and all that. Then I can generate the empirical evidence around it.
Okay.
But people are really, really wearing scientific goggles, and it's unstoppable.
So after this thinking and writing, what next?
Okay, so for me, it's not just an event. It's something. I have a bigger change that I want to inspire by this. So I'm doing this wearing scientific goggle as a meta action research. So I'm doing research on it. So I'm documenting every little thing that is happening, the capacities that people need, how I'm supporting them, and all that and stuff. So one thing is, I want to inspire change of how do we truly, truly, truly bridge the gap between academia and practice. Really, yeah, because once practitioners write about this academically, then these knowledge, new theories that are being generated can actually inform.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I also want to give practitioners the space to be recognized academically, because I've worked in practice. I have, and practice here, I mean project, I mean government, I mean, you even, they even generate reports, scientific reports, but it's always seen as a gray literature unless you can generate this scientific report in an academic way. Then it can be, you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And skills are there already, but because there is, this difference in the language, how you generated the language that we use and all this. So I'm trying to find ways of, bringing practice to be recognized as a legitimate knowledge, scientific knowledge and all that. Yeah, and then we will be doing one step at a time, and really one challenge at a time, and yeah, because there's a lot. I can tell you, I have seen many professors in my lifetime. Many professors that I have seen, I've seen them in the field more than I have seen professors in academic worlds. And I say professors in an inverted comma. Yeah, I can tell you, in my field as a facilitator and all that, I don't know how many times I have been called a professor, and yet I wasn't. So there's something there. I know a lot of practitioners, when they stand up and speak, they call them doctors. And they keep on, they always have to say, no, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a doctor. Because there are a lot of professors, there are a lot of doctors there in terms of knowledge and all that. But, and they do science, and they don't know. So we just have to bridge the gap between this language, and see how we can actually bridge these two worlds. Yeah, so
Okay.
that is my long term vision there.